This is a review for Colored Effects, out now for Nintendo Switch and Steam for $4.99. I'm going to start off and say that the first thing I always do when I start a game is look at the options menu and see if there's anything on the accessibility side of things or any settings that I could change to make the game better for me. Other than colorblind mode, there's really not a whole lot going on here for accessibility, unfortunately. I think the difficulty later on in the game gets to be pretty challenging, so some sort of a hint system or something to help with that steep difficulty later on might have been advantageous, but this is the opening level. You just run and jump, and the objective of almost all the levels is to collect these 3 colored gems, and then it'll unlock the door to the finish. And right away, my main issue is going to be apparent, and that's level 2 throws you right into a boss fight. Right into a boss fight. Like, I was not even ready for this. I don't think most people would be. This probably should have been like level 4 or 5 when you have your bearings about you, but no, they throw you right into a boss fight. So, I don't really know what to say. I think that's pretty much just going to cover my main issue right out of the gate, is that there's a lot of peaks and valleys with the difficulty. You might have an easy stage, and then one that's too hard. The boss fights for some people might not really be your thing, because this is a puzzle platformer, and those are not so much puzzles as they are platforming, so people looking for a more casual experience might struggle with those. But then here we are on level 3, and they introduce your save points. And just full disclaimer on these is you activate them manually, so it is possible to activate a save point and then have it be in a position where you are not technically able to complete the level. But there is a button you can push to restart and start over if you do find yourself in one of those scenarios. It's a little bit weird, but I mean, there's not really any way to avoid that with manual save points, so it gets a pass, but just something to take note of. And you'll see now the colors, there's a blue and a yellow color here. There's a whole bunch of different colored abilities. The yellow is a dash ability, the blue is a double jump, the red is a fireball, as you can see here. Later on, there's a green, which is a duplicate of yourself, which you can use to press switches and things like that. And I won't show a lot of the late game content, because being a puzzle game, I don't want to spoil solutions and things for people who might be interested in playing this themselves. And I don't want to spoil the experience by showing a lot of the late game content or the bosses or anything like that. But I did want to note that there, even though I might not show it, there are some other colored abilities. You can only have one active at a time. So every time you step on a pad, it'll activate the new one. You can drag and move boxes around and things like that. Now there you can see an example of a spot where I trapped myself, so I had to restart the level. That happens from time to time. It's not uncommon in puzzle games like this. So just real quick, just press a button, start the level over. Not really that big of a deal. This level here is a little bit later on, and you get a good progression of new obstacles to overcome. There's wind in this one. There's these new types of buttons. There's various things to activate and to maneuver to find your way to the exit of the stage, which is really neat. There's not really a lot of ideas that are overused, I don't think. There's a good variety here, and that's where the game really shines in its level design. As far as the music goes, you can kind of hear it here. There's a few different tracks. Nothing bad, nothing overly memorable. It suits as just some background music for a puzzle game like this. Would have been nice to have a little bit more variety throughout the 40 levels, maybe a new track every 10 stages or so. But yeah, it's okay. And then this stage here is an example of the other type, where you're not trying to collect 3 gems, you're trying to exit with all of the power-ups on the stage. And when you exit, that door on the left, it lights up which one you went through, and then the right. Overall, Colored Effects is a game that I did enjoy my time with. It took me about 4 or so hours to play through the 40 stages that are present in the campaign, and there's 8 Steam achievements to unlock if you have that version. It has some really great level design. The beginning half of the game I found to be a lot more enjoyable than the later half, as there was some puzzles in there that did really stump me, and it's unfortunate when a game stumps you and there's no way to really figure it out, and it frustrates you to the point where you have to look up a solution, but that is always the option if you find yourself being frustrated like I did. The bad points of it, like I mentioned, are the pacing. It's very heavy with boss fights in the beginning, and also having some puzzles that I thought were overly difficult with the amount of manipulation you need to do throughout the different abilities that you have, switching colors, and also that you can mess up and essentially have to start from scratch. So there's a lot of trial and error there. But I did enjoy it. I do recommend you play it if you like this style of game. Puzzle games, platformer games, but just be wary of the things that I mentioned. If you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing as I look forward to covering more indie titles in the future. So, thanks for watching.